Robert, what was your highlight from the State of Nation address?
First, there is a group I talked of yesterday. I didn't mention the group, I just said there is a group of people.
A type of people, yeah.
Who will tell you they never listened to the State of Nation address because they believe the SONA had nothing new, it wasn't going to address. They bring all sorts of issues. Now, they walk out. They're not part of it. But unfortunately, the same people will go on their X handles, tweet about what was said. The same people, you hear them on radio stations, local radio stations, yeah? I can't mention the radio stations, spitting fire regarding the SONA, but they were not in the room and they boycotted. They say they don't have reasons even to listen. So, are they fooling themselves or fooling Ugandans? There is nothing new. You're not even there. Then you're going everywhere talking about the SONA.
From what I heard, and in particular, as we all know, it's the National Unity Platform members of Parliament boycotted the State of Nation Address 2026.
Yeah, they did.
And the reason they gave was in fight for the political prisoners, those who are in prison, and justice has not yet prevailed in the sense of bringing them to court. All the court processes going on, everything is just still in limbo for them. But also the fact that the voice of Ugandans is not yet elaborated, and it's something that was adamantly not profound within the ruling government. So they saw no point in attending the State of Nation address until those key matters are addressed, because they are for the people of Uganda to whom the State of Nation address is to.
Now, my father, the great man, Pastor Franklin Newton, told me that, Bob, if you do the same thing over and over and doesn't yield results, stop doing it. If you do the same thing over and over, it means what you're doing is not seen by the other side, or it has no impact. Sometimes you don't have to run away. You have to be part. You must understand grounds on which you do certain things.
Right.
As long as NRM still has the majority in Parliament, and the numbers can determine, you must look for another technique of driving
your point home.
Your point.
That's
is outdated. It hasn't yielded.
Now, part of the agenda from yesterday was the president laying out the legislative agenda for the next financial year, and he did 38 bills to be tabled on the floor of Parliament in the next financial year that, of course, Parliament will be taking processes on. Looking forward to what they look like. We'll be reading a couple of them as we go on, but in the meantime, let's take a look at what the updates have, and of course, we start off with the local things.
Well, we'll begin as Uganda ushered in the 12th Parliament. President Yoweri Museveni printed a picture of the country on the verge of a major economic transformation. Delivering his address at the official opening of Parliament, the President pointed to the anticipated commencement of oil production, ongoing infrastructure investments, and prevailing peace and stability as key pillars to propel Uganda into a middle-income status. He, however, challenged leaders to actively champion wealth creation if the country is to fully realize its economic ambitions. When Ugandans all start following in the soonest future, the country's dream of attaining a middle-income status will be realized. This is the message that the President carried for the country as he officially opened the first session of the 12th Parliament. This will be consolidation of what the country has achieved over the last years, including infrastructure development. This has been achieved with presence of peace, rule of law and order, something which makes Uganda's economic future brighter. This will, however, take commitment from other leaders who the President insists must come on board in Uganda's wealth creation agenda. Members of Parliament, newly appointed ministers and other leaders were all present. They listened, took notes and reacted in affirmative. They expressed confidence in Uganda's economic projection agenda, from tourism to commercial agriculture, industrialization to infrastructure development. Leaders see Uganda on the way to economic prosperity. The judiciary, through the Judicial Training Institute, has organized a specialized training for justices of the Court of Appeal to strengthen their capacity in handling election petitions appeals. The training is aimed at enhancing the effectiveness, timely and technologically driven administration of electoral justice ahead of the hearing of election-related disputes. The initiative comes as the Court of Appeal prepares to handle a significant number of election petitions, appeals arising from the 2026 general elections. According to the judiciary, a total of 118 election petitions appeals are expected from this 2026 elections, including 107 parliamentary election petitions and 11 local government election petitions. Speaking during the training, the Chief Justice commended the judiciary team for organizing the initiative, noting that it is critical in preparing the court for the increasing demands associated with election-related litigation. He urged the justices to remain mindful of the strict timelines governing election petitions and the growing workload expected after the elections. Professor Andrew Kauka, Executive Director, Judicial Training Institute, officially welcomed the participants. The Ministry of Health has appealed to the managers of public places like markets to ensure that there are hand washing facilities as one of the measures to enforce standard operating procedures. The Director of Public Health in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Daniel Chabayinze, emphasized that hygiene is one of the ways that control infectious diseases such as Ebola. Infectious diseases such as Ebola are easily spread in congested places such as markets. The Ministry of Health has now appealed to managers of public places to ensure that there are hand washing facilities as one of the measures to enforce standard operating procedures. UBC visited St. Balikudembe Market, commonly known as Owino, to witness the state of affairs. Although market administrators say they have played a key role in creating awareness about Ebola, some of the key entry points have no washing facilities yet. The Ministry of Health continues to encourage the public to follow the standard operating procedures in order to curb the spread of Ebola virus disease. This year's 9th June Heroes Day celebrations will be held virtually at State House Entebbe. The Minister for Presidency, Mire Babalanda, while addressing the media in Kampala, said the President will be joined by only 25 invited guests to mark the occasion. Unlike previous celebrations held at Kololo Independence Grounds, this year's event will be conducted virtually to curb the spread of Ebola virus disease. And that brings us to the end of our local stories. Things are serious. Now those that receive medals and take pictures with His Excellency, you know, those, well, so much loss. But anyway, even if it weren't Ebola, these public functions
have been
banned.
Clearly, virtual it is. I guess there is a way that they will be recognized and read and celebrated, and thereafter will receive will pick their medals as time goes by. Anyways, let's have a look at what we have on the foreign scene, and we're starting off with matters Russia and Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky has called for a face-to-face meeting between himself and Vladimir Putin in a renewed bid to end the war. In an open letter to the Russian president, the Ukrainian leader said it would be wrong to simply wait until the war in Europe becomes the focus of the US's attention once more, adding peace could only come through direct engagement between Ukraine and Russia. He also called for a full ceasefire for the duration of the proposed negotiations, something Putin ruled out earlier on Thursday. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Thursday he thought it would be great if the two leaders met. The Kremlin confirmed it had received the letter and Putin would be briefed on it. The tone of the letter was defiant, even mocking, drawing attention to Ukraine's recent strikes on Russian territory. Zelensky stated that after 26 years in power, age is beginning to take its toll on Putin. The letter also provided an invitation. Ukraine proposes ending this war through direct engagement between us and you. I am proposing a meeting, Zelensky wrote. It's not a new offer from Ukraine's leader. As it has before, the Kremlin responded saying Zelensky was welcome to meet Putin in Moscow. Now let's move on. Police in the Netherlands have arrested 4 men who are suspected of drugging and sexually assaulting several women. The alleged victims are believed to be suspects' partners, Dutch police said on Thursday. Police in the Dutch port city of Rotterdam said the men filmed the sexual abuse and shared it online. Information indicates that multiple women in the Netherlands may have been drugged by someone in their immediate circle, police said in a statement. Subsequently, sexual acts were performed on the victims while they were being filmed, police added. Police seized computers, mobile phones, and USB sticks during raids of suspects' houses, where they also found sedatives and weapons. The searches took place last week. Investigators are sorting through the evidence to ascertain how many victims were abused, the police statement said. What is clear is that this is a case with an enormous impact, said Milu van der Kolk from the sexual crimes team of Rotterdam Police. And indeed it's true. Most times the people who abuse a woman or a girl are from their closest circle, people they thought they trust. Many a times.
Very unfortunate. I would protect mine as much as I can.
Please, bless you. Government forces and opposition fighters have exchanged heavy gunfire in Somalia's capital. Now we're in Africa. Mogadishu, as a row over delays to elections, has escalated. President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's term in office ended on 15th May, but was extended by a year. The opposition said this was unconstitutional and called for protests. On Thursday, gunfire was reported in several neighborhoods of the capital and persisted throughout the night, according to accounts by residents. Police said they were conducting a large-scale security operation against heavily armed militias who launched mortar attacks in some areas. Somalia last held a one-person, one-vote election in 1969 and has been ravaged by civil war for more than 30 years. Former Prime Minister Hassan Ali Kaire said he had been attacked by government forces while he and other leaders were preparing for Thursday's peaceful demonstrations. The responsibility for any casualties or damage resulting from this incident lies with the president, whose term has expired, he said on X. Now that brings us to the end of what we have on the foreign scene. Let's take a quick trip as to what we have in the dailies this morning. Robert, what do we have in the New Vision?
Well, looking at the New Vision this morning, couple of stories. Now, opportunities, State of the Nation address, Museveni's full speech. The New Vision has brought you that. Check out what are those opportunities. Still, South Korea ambassador bids farewell to General Kainerugaba. That is the CDF of Uganda People's Defense Forces. And still, the New Vision centers so much on the State of Nation address. So if you want more of the details there, check out in the New Vision. And I don't think I have the Daily Monitor
Right.
yet.
But I
Let's
do
see
have the
what-
Daily Nation.
Yes, please.
So let's take a look at what the Daily Nation has. Why housing levy will last for many years. That's the headline on there. A dispute, a case challenging controversial tax at the Court of Appeal. The government plans to use cash from the 1.5% affordable housing levy as collateral for 100 shilling billion loan in a process known as securitization, signaling that the deduction could become a near permanent feature on workers' pay slips. What taxes are not doing to us in East Africa? Anyways, where did City Hall man get 65 million shillings in cash? And Kenyan American officials send out different signals on Ebola facility. Also, more schools shut as unrest spreads. Now, let's look at what the Gazette has for us the 5th of June 2026. And on the Gazette, we do have the table of contents in today's Gazette as always, but there are notices to pay heed to. The Commissioners for Oaths Advocates Act Commission notice to all to whom these presents may come. Greetings. Be it known that on the 24th day of October 2025, Didis Elias, an advocate of the High Court, has been appointed to be a Commissioner for Oaths under the above-mentioned Act for so long as he continues to practice as such advocate. And the commission is not revoked, given under the hand of the Chief Justice then, as of the 24th day of October 2025, that is Alfonso Chigamoy Owinudolo. Also, it is hereby notified that exploration license number EL00754, registered as number 003756, has been granted in accordance with the provisions of sections 42 and sections 46 to Fieldsign Trading Limited of Plot 2 Chambogo View Road, Ministers Village, PO Box 162027, Kampala, for a period of 4 years, effective 14th May 2026. The exploration area subject of the exploration license is 212.85 square kilometers and is on a topography map sheet numbers 25/2, 25/1, 25/4, 25/3, situated in Abim district, dated on the 11th day of May 2026, under the hand of Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamu, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development then. Also, it is hereby notified that exploration license number EL00135 held by Mulago Hill Diagnostics Limited of PO Box 8048 Kampala has been revoked in accordance with the provisions of sections 159 of the Mining and Minerals Act CAP 159 on the 10th of April 2026. The exploration area subject to the exploration license is 28 square kilometers and is on topography map sheet number 54/2, situated in Kapchora and Bulambuli districts, dated at Entebbe this 8th day of May 2026, under the Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabirwa Sentamu, Minister of Energy and Mineral Development then. And that brings us to the end of what we have with the updates this morning. Let's have a short break. When we get back, we'll choose on the State of Nation address and be part of the conversation. 0709-602-592. Save that number. That way you're able to be part of the conversation that we're chewing on for a couple of minutes. They're in, and keep it Friday edition here on Good Morning Uganda. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.
Those were so much loss. But anyway, even if it weren't Ebola, these public functions
have been banned.
Have been banned.
Clearly, virtual it is. I guess there is a way that they will be recognized and read and celebrated, and thereafter will will pick their medals as time goes by. Anyways, let's have a look at what we have on the foreign scene, and we're starting off with matters Russia and Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky has called for a face-to-face meeting between himself and Vladimir Putin in a renewed bid to end the war. In an open letter to the Russian president, the Ukrainian leader said it would be wrong to simply wait until the war in Europe becomes the focus of the US's attention once more, adding peace could only come through direct engagement between Ukraine and Russia. He also called for a full ceasefire for the duration of the proposed negotiations, something Putin ruled out earlier on Thursday. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Thursday he thought it would be great if the two leaders met. The Kremlin confirmed it had received the letter and Putin would be briefed on it. The tone of the letter was defiant, even mocking, drawing attention to Ukraine's recent strikes on Russian territory. Zelensky stated that after 26 years in power, age is beginning to take its toll on Putin. The letter also provided an invitation. Ukraine proposes ending this war through direct engagement between us and you. I am proposing a meeting, Zelensky wrote. It's not a new offer from Ukraine's leader. As it has before, the Kremlin responded saying Zelensky was welcome to meet Putin in Moscow. Now let's move on. Police in the Netherlands have arrested 4 men who are suspected of drugging and sexually assaulting several women. The alleged victims are believed to be suspects' partners, Dutch police said on Thursday. Police in the Dutch port city of Rotterdam said the men filmed the sexual abuse and shared it online. Information indicates that multiple women in the Netherlands may have been drugged by someone in their immediate circle, police said in a statement. Subsequently, sexual acts were performed on the victims while they were being filmed, police added. Police seized computers, mobile phones, and USB sticks during raids of suspects' houses, where they also found sedatives and weapons. The searches took place last week. Investigators are sorting through the evidence to ascertain how many victims were abused, the police statement said. What is clear is that this is a case with an enormous impact, said Milu van der Kolk from the sexual crimes team of Rotterdam Police. And indeed it's true. Most times the people who abuse a woman or a girl are from their closest circle, people they thought they trust. Many a times.
Very unfortunate. I would protect mine as much as I can.
Please, bless you. Government forces and opposition fighters have exchanged heavy gunfire in Somalia's capital. Now we're in Africa. Mogadishu, as a row over delays to elections, has escalated. President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud's term in office ended on 15th May but was extended by a year. The opposition said this was unconstitutional and called for protests. On Thursday, gunfire was reported in several neighborhoods of the capital and persisted throughout the night, according to accounts by residents. Police
It's even harder to lose weight? Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
I know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akandwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
I know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akandwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. It's the Friday edition and you're watching UBC TV. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Thank you so much for watching and choosing to watch UBC TV this morning. And if you've started the show with us, thank you so much. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chiravo Nyonyintono. And this morning we're looking at the State of Nation address. What was your takeaway from yesterday's State of Nation address? The hashtag is UBCGMU at UBCTV Uganda if you are to contribute via X. And you can also send a WhatsApp message via 0709 602592 and share your takeaway from yesterday's address. Once again, you are watching UBC TV. It's Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition. Now, some of the highlights or highlight statements that were made by the president yesterday for me, Robert, were number one, the fact that he is disgusted by leaders having to get allowances to have constituency visits. And he gave examples of as low as now Muluka chiefs. Why exactly are they using motorcycles and or vehicles? Why can't they use bicycles in case of limited funding? At least a bicycle one, it keeps you fit and it does not require fuel. But also when he ended his speech, he ended with a note of a note to Africans majorly, but of course primarily to Ugandans, with the fact that he notices that Africans, the problem that Africans have is ignorance and underrating oneself. Major problem that most Africans are facing, and it's one that we need to jump out of. But Robert, in your perspective, following yesterday's address, what were the biggest commitments made from yesterday? I think I noted agriculture and poverty eradication. Those were at the heart of the President's address.
First, I want to thank His Excellency for fulfilling a constitutional obligation, but not just fulfilling, but having the right message for Ugandans. I'm a person who is very passionate about agriculture.
Right.
And I know for sure that agriculture, if done right, can transform this economy. And the illustrations the President, see those videos, the clips that he was bringing are evidence to that. And I've always said that agriculture is one of the things that God designed Ugandans to do. That's why we have this rare climate, the weather we have. How many countries have the 2 seasons despite climate change? How many countries can you eat a mango and just throw, and tomorrow there is a mango tree? No fertilizers. How so? Agriculture is one of the things, and I love the President. Most of the times actually, much as the other ATMs, he dwelt more on agriculture. Now, when he talks about government workers who use all excuses not to fulfill their obligations, I remember, Julie, on this show, I said when I was growing up in my village, there are 2 things I witnessed. One, government had extension workers those days. And you would be playing football in your father's compound or doing, then a man comes on a bicycle riding. Kiri, 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 abena, abeno. Where are your parents? Where is mommy? Tell your mother, omulimi saze. You know, mom comes out, then he says, hey, I've come to check on your banana plantation. Well, these days we no longer do this, we no longer do this, we do it this way. Let me see, this is the pesticide you're going to use. And after that, the man would get on his bicycle and continue to the neighbor and the neighbor and the neighbor. Then later he would come at no extra pay. We had a veterinary doctor. We had named him Nume. I think. You'd be doing your own things. And the man with a motorcycle, beep, 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 beep. I've heard a sound of a cow I was passing through. Let me look at this cow. And I says, no, this one needs deworming. It needs also some vaccination. Chipumpuli, then it also needs some antibiotics like pain and strip. You know? Says, but they even bought at this place. Or I have this for government, but this I don't have. Then he would give that vaccine. When was it last on heat? Then the man would get on his motorcycle, Nume, and he would go back. Now, and remember, by then almost everyone was in agriculture. Not like now, where in a village, you may find that most of the areas, people have built houses. And the President also hinted on that. He said, this business of land fragmentation, families should learn to do joint businesses. Than saying, the late Chirabo has went, now his estate, let's cut pieces. Every son ends up getting 25 by 25, 50 by 50, you know. Why don't we say if this man has left 10 acres, why don't we have a banana plantation, a coffee plantation, and maybe a dairy farm? We are organized. At the end of the month, we get the proceeds, we divide amongst the children, and we have operating fee. And so, when the President lashes out at these people and says it is time for you to work, indeed, this have had so many excuses. And at the expense of Ugandans drailing and staying in poverty. The Bible says, my people perish because of lack of wisdom. Farmers down there are struggling with certain issues that government has worked on. You go to a community, they tell you this cassava is bitter. Go to Namuronge here. Is it narrow something? They already have varieties that don't have those challenges. But the farmer may not be aware. The people who are supposed to take this information to the farmer are looking at funny excuses. And even when these have been provided, still we've seen them, some not deliberately giving out what they are supposed to do. So for me, my take home was emphasis on agriculture. Because I've seen agriculture transform people's livelihoods. I've seen one person who bought one cow. One cow like this. I think he had a daughter abroad or something. He bought one cow, a Jersey breed. The cow gives this person, Julie, every day 15 liters. His home area, milk a liter is at 2,000. Now, every day, this person gets 30,000 shillings daily. A month, unless this cow is winning, a month, he gets 900,000. This is not magic, what the president was talking about. Now, get 900,000, remove about 100,000 that you pay the person who looks after this cow. Okay, also the cow, give it about 300, that's what it has consumed a month. Treatment, sometimes feeds. Now you have 500 profit. How many businesses give that 500 profit? So, me, when he began talking on emphasizing agriculture, that was my take home. But also the corruption issue. And pushing people to work. When he says, I've been quiet, I've listened to all these excuses, it is time, if you're not willing to work, go away and let other people come and work. Because there are people who want to do what you're doing and can do it better and have Uganda at heart. I've told you, I've seen agriculture transforming communities. And actually, I think for the last 5 years, as I shared already, I've dedicated my life to teaching, to showing people how agriculture can be of value to transform communities. Me, you talk agriculture, you address agriculture, and he gave live stories. Seeing transformational stories.
Right. Very profound at that. Now, on that note, let's also take a look at some of the detail from the State of the Nation address in regards to what was promised from last year's address, to what happened, and what the status is, and what the key questions are on the citizens and the minds of the citizens in Uganda. And we'll definitely start with agriculture, where the president's heart was mostly, and where Chiravo's heart is. Agriculture and value addition. What was promised from last year's address was more support for irrigation, agro-processing, storage, fertilizers, extension services, and value addition. And this was in order for farmers to produce more and earn more. What has happened? Well, in the financial year 2025-2026, allocation of 1.86 trillion Uganda shillings to agro-industrialization, that is irrigation, research, fertilizers, value addition. And the status, it's in progress. Some of the key questions that Ugandans or citizens have are farmers getting better markets, higher yields, and more money for what they produce. Now, away from agriculture and value addition, let's take a look at roads and bridges. What was promised?
But the pertinent questions, Julie, you highlighted there. Are farmers getting better markets? Yes,
are farmers getting better markets, higher yields, and more money from their produce?
Now, that is a very pertinent question as we push people into agriculture. When you produce, because you can't have value addition without produce.
True.
Now, when you have high production and you add value, automatically there are better markets. And I must say, better markets have opened up for our farmers. But the biggest challenge we have is the middleman. Let me give you a quick example. A few weeks I was in Mbarara, and you would find people with matoke. It's not very far from the main. Now, a bunch of matoke that would go for 10,000 in Mbarara, come to Kampala, would be at 35,000.
Or even 40.
Or even 40. The farmer is given 10,000. What the middleman does is simply transport and bring to the market. When you ask this woman selling that matoke, why are you selling this at 30,000? Honestly, she'll tell you, I'm only making a profit of 5,000. Now, who has taken the biggest share? The middleman.
You remind me of CPA of the cooperative society, who used to teach us here on UBC, where whenever we hosted him, he would tell you that the problem of middlemen is always dealt with cooperatives.
Because
to
the
beat
markets
that
are there. I want to tell people the markets are there. Look, more people are leaving agriculture because of scarcity of land. So the few who are remaining, yet our population is increasing. Uganda is opening up to better markets every day. Our borders, better markets. So there are better markets. The produce is increasing because now our farmers are being taught better ways of doing agriculture. But the challenge is this middleman is one killing the whole story.
Right. What is your take from yesterday's State of Nation address? 0709-602-592. Share what your takeaway is. You can also head over to our X handle at UBCTV Uganda. The hashtag is UBCGMU. President's message was very clear. He always says, Chisanja akuna kulala. Term no sleep. People should wake up and leave their comfort zones. Wake up early, leave the bed and fight poverty. No excuses of remaining in bed or behind when others are waking up and working. Thank you so much. They did not leave your name, but thank you so much for being on the show. Robert, looking at some of a few sectors that were hinted on, looking at roads and bridges, the promise that had been made from last year's address, 18 new projects, several projects to complete, 14 projects for maintenance and strategic bridges to be constructed. That is Seziwa, Katonga, Luera, Kalandazi. And what has happened over time? Well, with the achievement of 6,199 kilometers of national tarmac road stock as of 2025, up from 1,900 kilometers in 1986. Now, as of 2026, the report from Parliament's Physical Infrastructure Committee states that the Ministry of Works closed the financial year 2024-2025 with 1.489 trillion in arrears. Now, 944 billion is still outstanding after part payment was made, and legislators, MPs, warned that delays in compensating project-affected persons could leave up to 3.7 trillion of external road financing unused in the financial year 2026-2027. The status of the roads and bridges in Uganda, it's mixed and behind schedule. And the key question therein for the citizens was which roads on the 2025 list had actually been completed, have actually been completed, which roads on this list are stalled, and which roads on this list were never funded. One, I do appreciate the honesty of it is what it is. Where do you see the problem though?
Well,
so I actually even had the president say that the Ministry of Works did not perform really. He put a blame on the Ministry of Works in regards to deteriorating roads that deteriorated after construction. I think in regards to supervision, oversight, and all of that. What do you think the problem was?
I want to say first, in terms of infrastructure development, when it comes to our roads, there's so much that needs fixing. There's really so much that needs fixing. One, their durability is a question. Technical people will give you all reasons that some roads are made for this, others for this, but that is a problem. But also, I think sometimes when money is available, we rush the process. We don't do due diligence. You get money for a road, then along the way there is compensation issues. So you halt the road. I was looking at Busabala Road. Some parts done, some parts incomplete, other parts done. You know, you wonder, but what went wrong? Why did they skip here? So I think we just need to go a bit more careful.
What do you, don't you think we can now question the planning process, procurement and planning process? Because you'd evidently think that someone needs to plan chronologically for the process and have timelines.
But also you've had bad contractors. A contractor along the way who gives up, a contractor along the way who doesn't have the capacity, you know, to complete and do what should be done. We've had delays in payment, and many contractors that I remember who had given up because they were not paid. So there is still some serious auditing that must be done to find out, because at the end of the day we lose money, we increase debts, yet there is nothing on ground.
Serious auditing indeed, and something that we look forward to a change, an overhaul in this new Chisanja of no sleep.
And I love the fact when he said the new ministers of works.
Yes, indeed. And he also said that if you're not willing to work, then go. He's not going to tolerate anyone who's not working. So clearly for the new ministers of works, this is a lot of shoes for you to fill. Someone comes through and says, hi, the farming project. I think they just took a picture of the farming project. I wonder what you mean when you say farming project. Please do elaborate so that we're able to speak into it profoundly. Now let's look at the other item. It was the East African crude oil pipeline. There, what was promised in the last year was to finalize 1,443 kilometers East African crude oil pipeline from Hoima to Tanga, that is in Tanzania, and begin moving Uganda's crude to market. What has happened so far? The East African, the ECOP reached 82% overall completion by April 2026, and Marine Jetty and Chongelini Terminal at 88.1%, and all line pipes were delivered. First oil targeted for July 2026, which is just next month, with full design capacity of up to 246,000 barrels per day. Now the status of this project: on track for 2026 completion, and key questions from the citizens: will the first oil happen as promised next month, 2026? And how much of the revenue will Ugandans actually see?
Well, I don't want to comment on issues of when we shall have our first oil, because I've hosted people from, of course, the oil sector. I'll wait until if we are able to hit that deadline, but we must say it's a step in the right direction. 80 plus achievements is very good, but as if we shall be ready, I may say I highly doubt. By next month.
By next month.
I highly doubt. But one good news is we are in the process. And for me, what interests me so much when you talk about oil is the fact that Uganda talks and thinks of a oil refinery. Because to me, oil, there's good money there. In oil, the crude we shall be selling.
Right.
But what the refinery will be bringing, for me, first as a farmer, fertilizers. There is so much money in the refinery. So much money there. To me, than that I would look at more than even the oil. But just that, of course, you can't have the refinery minus the oil. Because of the byproducts there.
Right.
Yes.
Right, indeed. Now, let's also look at the Standard Gauge Railway. That will be the last item we'll look at as we get into more of your views and the conversation. What was promised was the construction of the Standard Gauge Railway, starting with Malaba to Kampala. And what has happened so far? A Turkish contractor has been brought on board, signed for 11.18 trillion shillings for a 48-month build, and government released funds and a limited notice to proceed in mid-2025. So preliminary surveys, designs and logistics camps are underway, and full groundbreaking that was scheduled for March to April 2026 took place jointly with Kenya's extension from Naivasha. The status,
I think we should have moved faster.
Mm.
Need to expedite the process.
Right.
Yes, because railway transport and water transport are very critical in terms of doing trade, because they are much cheaper, the cost of transportation. They are also very effective compared to road transport.
And
so I think the fact that we are looking at trade seriously, even in transporting agricultural products, would be very easy. So we must move very fast. I believe
the status is it's moving, but not
just
yet.
need to
Contract.
expedite the process, because that should have been done yesterday. It's much needed. By the way, it's much needed.
And you don't differ from the question that citizens have. After a decade of promises, will Ugandans finally see an active rail construction in this very year, 2026? Do share what your takeaway was from yesterday's State of Nation address. We do have Good Morning Uganda, Odaro Vincent from Tororo. The president's message was very clear. What caught my attention is when he emphasized on the fight against corruption and sacking non-performers. Good morning, UBC. Government should work on price transparency for farmers, and farmers should be informed of the prices. In my village, matoke is at 7,000. Wow. While in Kampala, it's at 30,000.
That's what I told you. Market is there. Production is there.
But the middleman.
But the middleman. This middleman is disturbing our farmers. And when they are not organized, even if you wake up and say, let me put my matoke on a car or a pickup and I drive to Nakasero, still there are gymnastics that you won't understand as a farmer. So at the end of the day, government must address ways the farmer can be linked to the market and how we can minimize or reduce the middleman. I wanted to get some cows from Isingiro. It's the Jersey breed. They are not so common in Uganda here. Now, I met a middleman on social media. I saw these cows. So he tells me in calf goes at 9 million.
Wow. And
the person doesn't sell one. So it baffled me. I knew I was out. Guess what? I posted them somewhere. Someone sees them and said, actually, I know this person. Guess how much they were? Told me no. He says if you're buying more than one, he can give you at 5.5.
Wow,
so,
interesting.
This is a problem.
Yeah.
This man per cow is going to get 2 point something. The farmer. So, if we deal away with the middleman in things like cooperatives, farmer circles, farmers can have markets, there is direct linkage. The farmer, if you have technology as well, I know technology can do much. NITA Uganda, if can develop these apps.
Actually,
and all that.
Now that you say that, I think if the president could emphasize the cooperatives movement, if he could push and the energy he has with PDM pushed into cooperatives and integrate it with technology, I think that integration would do
also improve the road network.
Yes, definitely.
Because sometimes why these farmers find it very hard is the road network. Though also we've seen roads that Ugandans crave for and there's nothing productive coming from that side. But I think if the road network is improved, if government could put, like cooperatives, when they have trucks that can deliver to the markets, someone can come, have their goods sold, take the money for each one there, then we will greatly improve the welfare of this farmer who is having so much. And also value addition. You know, value addition helps the farmer not to sell their perishables in a hurry to be exploited. There is this, is it Toke initiative by the president?
Yes.
If, for example, farmers know that even if you don't take my bananas today, there is a factory maybe, or there is, we can have micro factories in homes, you know, that they can preserve these bananas or transform them into something else. Into
wheat, into
so
biscuits, into cookies, into
if I have my milk and I know there's a way we can make powder milk.
Powder milk, yeah.
So these are things we should look at. But I'm also listening to this presidential State of Nation address by the president. I was very happy because now he brought reality in the face of Ugandans. And remember, opportunity comes to those who are prepared. It's all about positioning yourself. And then...
Yes, indeed. I'm sorry, wait.
No, please, you can.
All right. Nze Omugaga Saulembo enabweru kwendi ngoberera UBC #1. Thank you, Omugaga Saulembo, for being on.
Omugaga Saulembo alima chi alunda chi?
Oba alimu oil.
Alunda chi alima chi?
Omugaga Saulembo, to tell us. And
Julie, what hurts me sometimes is we go to bury to someone loses a brother, a sister. You know, you go to their village for burial. Then you move through, in Uganda I call them Obukubo Mese. You know, and you look at this soil, it's very fertile. They don't have goats, they don't have cows, they don't have nothing there. You know, when the president talked about why should people go to Saudi Arabia, to these Arab countries, yet they are living opportunity here.
right.
Someone sells land at 4 million to go to Saudi. You know, but that's why for me I'm happy when he says these parish, these whatever, who are not willing to work, and political appointees who don't want to deliver the message of wealth creation should leave. Because our people, if they are empowered and given information,
On that note, we do look forward to what Honorable Justin Namere and Honorable Balam Barugahara, what their tenure shall carry with the local government, because local government seems to have the most problem when it comes to linking things to the grassroots, between central government and grassroots.
But also you forget one thing. If you look at workers of local government, are these permanent and pensionable? That is one thing we must look at. Second, what are the procedures that you can quickly expel, indefinitely suspend a worker at local government? That is also something we should look at. Our laws, what do they say? One time there's a teacher who had become a problem. So I told the headmaster, we can no longer have this drunk. But he said, to chase this teacher, who is on, is it public payroll or something like that, it is a big process. All they can do is transfer this teacher from this school to another school. A cow, for example, chief accounting officer, that is the cow.
Yes.
How easy is it for you to chase a cow?
Let me ask though.
The process you have to go through. Can't this man go even in court and challenge you?
Let me ask, allow me ask, and this is for purposes of me learning something new. Is it, how possible is it for government to employ tactics or procedures or the criteria of private operations, private entities? How can the way private entities work, the way work operates, how can it be employed into government entities where you have targets, KPIs, and if you do not meet the KPIs, where that language is serious, that if KPIs are not met, you go.
Like you and me, you have a contract. But when a person knows I've entered the system,
yes,
I'll leave retirement.
Can't government employing citizens on contractual basis? That if you do not, yes, you have a contract, but even within that period, you are held accountable to that dot. You are appraised to that dot.
If you're not meeting the targets, you can go. I think that is something government must do.
Government could
but
employ
without doing that,
the private
the
sector.
president spoke, but without, look at how sometimes teachers are a problem. Because they know you can't do this, you can't do that.
Right.
The law holds you.
Indeed, Your Excellency, I think from Chiravu and myself, perhaps you could start looking at how the private entity works and pull those tactics and strategies into government operations. Perhaps it will change a thing or two in this Chisanja no sleep. Allow me close this conversation with a comment coming in from LC1 Bugabo. Garuga Bugabo, he says, thank you for the program. I'm watching from Garuga Bugabo, LC1. I'm called Andrew. Thank you, Andrew, for being on the show. We close it here. We do have musicians coming up, so stay tuned for that light moment as your weekend officially begins. It's Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product.
This weekend on UBC.
When you are confused, she will never know what she wants. When a man is confused, the woman will never know what she wants.
A woman is the one that brings this confusion. No. Because if I meet her and I'm trying to love on her, the best way I know how.
That's why you get it wrong. You don't love a woman the best way you can. You love a woman like Christ loved the church. Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, me, I don't believe in Jesus. Well, you don't believe in Jesus. You're totally confused. That's why you got all those troubles. You don't know what you're doing. Because the reality is, without Jesus is love. So what are you going to use to communicate with a woman? What are you going to use? She needs love in order to understand.
Yeah. You're talking about expectations. But if we're being true to this generation right now, it is the women who mostly send out that signal of expectation.
This weekend on UBC.
Junko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight
every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
I know what Uganda needs. When General Caleb Akantwanaho retired, Salim Saleh presented his long, detailed analysis of Uganda's economy and structured recommendations for improvement in the form of the Third National Development Plan, NDP-3, to President Museveni. He laid out the kinds of problems that many Ugandans feel every day, but rarely see captured in one place. He was doing what he has done for years, breaking down the problems holding back ordinary Ugandans. He talked about distortions in factors of production, such as land conflicts that choke investment, the high cost of finance for ordinary people, the shortage of skills among youth, the slow pace of value addition, and the gap between production in the villages and the factories in industrial parks. It was the kind of diagnosis a technocrat offers when trying to get a country unstuck. The president's reply was striking in its simplicity. I know what Uganda needs. At first, to others, it might have sounded almost dismissive. But when placed in the context of 40 years of state rebuilding, economic reform, and political stability, it revealed something deeper. A belief that Uganda's path to transformation has been consistent, deliberate, and informed by lived experience rather than theory. His confidence is not based on guesswork. It's based on the journey already traveled. He always stresses that any serious revolutionary discussion about the economy of Uganda, or indeed much of Africa, should include the following questions. 1. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1900, at the dawn of colonialism? 2. What was the economy of Uganda like in 1962, at the sunset of colonialism? 3. How and what was the magnitude of the collapse of the Ugandan economy between 1971 and 1986? Idi Amin, Obote II, Okello. 4. What, therefore, was the economy of Uganda like in 1986? 5. What is the Ugandan economy like today, and why?
This weekend on UBC.
When you are confused, she will never know what she wants. When a man is confused, the woman will never know what she wants.
A woman is the one that brings this confusion. Because if I meet her and I'm trying to love on her, the best way I know how.
That's why you get it wrong. You don't love a woman the best way you can. You love a woman like Christ loved the church. Now, some of y'all are going to say, well, me, I don't believe in Jesus. Well, you don't believe in Jesus. You're totally confused. That's why you got all those troubles. You don't know what you're doing. Because the reality is, without Jesus is love. So what are you going to use to communicate with a woman? What are you going to use? She needs love in order to understand.
You're talking about expectations, but if we're being true to this generation right now, it is the women who mostly send out that signal of expectation.
This weekend on UBC.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
In all these years, we emphasize two words: wealth and jobs. And we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and
PDM is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Massa business in Soroti, and he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the third year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The President's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
In all these years, we emphasize two words: wealth and jobs. And we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
Enteekateeka ya gavumenti ey'okuyamba abantu baayo Miruka oba giyite Parish Development Model nteekateeka yagunjibwawo okukyusa ebyenfuna bya bannayuganda ku byalo ng'obukadde 100 bwe buweebwa buli muluka buli mwaka era nga kiyambyeko amaka ag'enjawulo okuggulawo emikisa egy'okugaggawala.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Abalimi bakyusizza okuva mu nnima ey'okulima emmere ey'okulya ne badda mu kulima emmere ey'okutunda bafune ensimbi ekiyambye abawerako okukyusa obulamu bwabwe.
Projekiti eno yatandika emyaka 11 egiyise nga President Museveni ye yampa amaanyi okutandika. Mu budde obwo nali nvuga taxi Soroti ne mpulira President Museveni ng'ayogera ku ngeri y'okwongera ku nnyingiza mu maka.
And he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the third year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
Obubaka bwa President Museveni bukyusa endowooza. Okugaggawala tekitegeeza kubeera na ttaka ddene nnyo oba nti wasoma nnyo. Weetaaga okuba ng'olengerera wala n'ossa mu nkola era n'otandikirawo.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
Obubaka buno bukutuusibwako Ministry ya Teknologiya n'okulungamya eggwanga.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
akaseera nga nkatiye sinasuubi mbona kulabako nga nawo katiye n'obijjukiranga munaku n'olulambanga bizibu buli muntu wabisiŋŋaana naye Katonda yekamala nsonga ensi nkusabye okitunule maaso tetukifungula etwebasa bwatyo abantu babi bino tulya ntungo tebakyasala njala bafumitanga ngo tomalanga biseera busuka kubo tomalanga biseera busuka kubo tomalanga biseera esala esitekusingira esala esala kukamira tovanga kusala esala esitekusingira esala esala kukamira kwenyikiza esala wewale ebyobulaguze Katonda gwe basaba bwe ziba zibuze obunkutulu n'obusamize mbikano jjukira ng'obamuwulize Katonda yagaba byonna Katonda muwonya n'amagya g'okunsi yekka eyamanya nze ndi muzaddewo nkwagaliza mirembe mu nsi eno ndi muzaddewo bwe bukya nga nvuddewo navudde mu nsi eno nsabirangako tomalanga biseera busuka ekkubo tomalanga biseera tomalanga biseera busuka ekkubo tomalanga biseera esala ensi tekusingira esala esala fukamira tovanga kusala esala esitekusingira esala esala fukamira gwenyikiza esala
All right, that is Sharona for you, who's performing here on Good Morning Uganda this Friday. What a beautiful, beautiful voice, I should say. And I have questions about the video, but allow me first to welcome you to the show. In case you're just joining us, you're welcome. This is Good Morning Uganda, and you are watching UBC TV. We come to you live from the Nile Avenue. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and as you've rightfully seen, we have Sharona in studio this morning on Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition. Be part of the show. Anything you think about her music, want to get in touch with her, any comment that you do have, opinion, do share, 0709602592, as long as it's constructive, because we are all about inspiring Uganda. That is inspiring each other as we learn and relearn from each other. Sharona, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. That's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
And a beautiful video.
Really?
I will start with the video.
Okay.
What about the train? You know what, when I watched the train, the story of a mom escorting her child to the train to go to school,
yeah.
I imagined, okay, yeah, maybe it's the easiest means of transport, because sometimes you come from Mukono and the train is what, 500 shillings? 1,000
yeah.
From Mukono to town, and it's very fast. But what story were you trying to tell there? Because it's a rare one.
I looked at something that is going to be unique,
right.
Something that they've not used. Of course, the train, I used to use it all the time. So, and we used to do praise and worship in the train.
Nice.
So I really looked at this. It could give me maybe like harmony. Like I would love to express now the praise and worship we were doing in the video. So when I thought about the story, I said the train.
Yeah.
It was the first thing. Actually, the guy who did the video did not even have the idea of the train. It's me who told him, you know what, I need to use a train. Yeah.
Lovely.
So if the mother is sending off their kid to somewhere, of course, let us use the train for the first time.
I know, it's quite the experience.
Yeah, so we looked at a mother sending message would your parents give you sincerely when they are sending you off? Because when you look at the population in Uganda, most of our parents are broke. So the best thing they would give you, or the best advice you would give your child when you're sending them to far lands, is prayer.
That's
yeah.
true. That's very
So
true.
that's what we looked at when we were making that video.
Now therein, let me ask how your music journey has been. Where does it begin?
Terrible journey. Anyway, I began singing in COVID.
Oh yeah, that's
you know that break they gave us, and you were trying to realize, who is Sharona? What can I do when I'm not in office? What am I going to be doing? But of course, sometimes, sometimes when God calls you, you can be somewhere, like you're working here at UBC. But your call might be different from UBC. Now that is me. I used to work in office, and but I could do gospel music on the side. So when this period of COVID came, now it gave me a wake-up call. Actually, it was a bell for me. Like, I called you. Do what I told you to do. So yeah, I began there in COVID.
Right. And when you began, were you just a singer, just singing anything, any genre, or were you more aligned to praise or worship? What type of gospel music or Christian music were you doing at the start?
I'm a worship person.
Oh.
Because in most cases, you realize people get to listen more to worship. Because the angle I align to is, I want to tell someone, you will make it, despite what you're going through. Now, giving out such a message sincerely, you cannot be dancing and all.
Yes,
you have to calm yourself and deliver the message.
Has to be relatable.
Yes. So I do worship. Though sometimes, of course, like a praise song will pass through, but I'm a worship person.
Well, at the end of the day, all of life is a sacred act of worship. So whether it's a praise
song,
whether you're walking or eating or working, whatever you're operating on, at the end of the day, it's a sacred act of worship. Sharona is the artist we have this morning on Good Morning Uganda, the Friday edition. Have a question? Do share it, 0709-602-592. So that we are able to just engage her talent and be part of her experience. Now, you being someone who does Christian music, do you think that, or do you see yourself as a minister of the gospel or a musician of the gospel, of gospel music?
That's actually, that's a tricky question, but I would say everyone who does gospel music is a gospel minister, because you're sending out a message. We are acting, can I say we are acting on behalf of God, because he sends you a message that he wants the people out there to get. So we are ministers.
What if one would argue that there are many secular artists who have gospel songs? Would you consider them ministers in that moment?
Can I also ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Do you think God only sends us?
Not really, but I would argue it in the sense that by the time he sends you, you ought to bear his fruit every day.
God can send anyone.
Right.
So I can't rule out that the other people that sing gospel music, yet they are not gospel ministers. They don't get the word from God. Mokwano, God is different. He's not like humans.
Right.
He can send literally anyone. You realize most of those people, in the very end, they become gospel artists. I don't know if you've realized. Aimbaya kaimba kamu, which is, you know, gospel, and doing other things. But God is setting you, He's preparing them. In the very end, you just hear that, you know, someone got born again and they are, you know, they are doing gospel music. So we leave it for God. He knows best.
Right. So what has your experience been like since you started? You did mention that it was terrible, but
bumpy.
What has the journey looked like? What are the bumps? What are the stories?
It is bumpy just like any other road you could be taking, because it's never easy.
True.
The finances, you know, the you being there and you're not shaken, many things will come and knock you off, but we are here. Yeah.
What has kept you grounded?
You know who sent me.
Right.
You just have to, you know, everything that happens, you just look up and you say, you know, God, you sent me here. If we are getting ashamed, we are getting ashamed together. If we are falling together. So that thing, when you get to know who sent you, why are you there? Most of the things you just go to, I love the bathroom. It is the most precious thing for me, the bathroom and the kitchen in my house. I love them so much. So when I get any problem in my journey, those are the two places you'll find me. You'll find me cooking very many dishes which I'm not even going to eat, but it is a place of concentration. Or I will go in the bathroom and cry it out.
Yeah.
By the time I'm done, I'll just move out and I'm ready to move again.
Right.
Yeah.
Therein, allow me ask you, what does success, the word success, mean to you as someone who does gospel music?
In gospel music or business-wise?
Generally, anything. And when you hear the word success as a Christian in your foundation, what does the word mean?
Okay, to me, I always tell myself, success, now I'll look at the gospel side. Success is when I meet, okay, let me take it to maybe I meet a person,
right,
and they tell me that your song blessed me. That line.
The mission, yeah.
Whenever I get that line, I'm like, God, we've made it.
We've arrived.
We've arrived. Don't tell me anything, you know?
Yeah.
But I want my song to, even if it touches half a person, and that person tells me, you know what, Sharona, I was going through this, and your song helped me. Oh my God, I feel successful already.
Lovely.
Yes, I don't look at it as, you know, you've kicked the kaji, you've made it, you have lots of money. That's not success. Success is when the message reaches the person God sent you. Because you will sing the song, it might not touch you at all. No, and maybe you listen to it, you're like, okay, it's a good gospel song. But then there is that person who will tell you that is my song. Actually, I have those people who tell me that. Now, that will even make me run to studio more. Yeah.
That's very profound. Sharona, for you now, we'll allow Sharona to just show us more of her music and of course lead us to the feet of God as we ought to, because I mean it's where we come from and we ought to do life with him. And in a bit we'll be back with her, but Good Morning Uganda does continue. Share your questions to 0709602592, and the best part of the show is the fact that we still have another artist, so there's still lots for you in store. Stay tuned.
Yona tuwa obulamu, yona lwanye ntalo, yona tuyisiza mu biwonvu n'ebiko, sikyatanga nino mulwanyi. Lord asante, Lord asante, neyanziza neyanzegenze, otukiriza bye wasuubiza. Lord asante, Lord asante, neyanziza neyanzegenze, byonkoledde bingi neyanze, enganda n'emikwano banvaamu, nga buli gwe njagala yantawa buli kalimu mwannemya teryayamba laba buntuza n'abalangira kati onfudde yegombesa nze ani yali amanyi luli nga sirina yadde wendaba essuubi mu ggwe Yesu ze mwenzudde essanyu Lord asante neyanziza neyanzegenze otukiriza bye wasuubiza oh Lord asante Lord asante neyanziza neyanzegenze byonkoledde bingi neyanze Yekwantuwa obulamu yona lwanye ettalo yona tuyisiza mu biwonvu n'ebiko sikyataganira omulwayi ovudde yegombesa nze ani yali amanyi luli nga sirina yadde wendabe Lord asante Lord asante neyanziza neyanzegenze Mukama gwe musumba wange sitenga ontwala ku mabbali ag'amazzi amateefu newankubadde nga ntambulira mu kisiikirize kino eky'olumbe siritya kabi konna kubanga olinange banywedde yuno Katonda omusana bwe gwaka gwe mukwano gwange omulungi atankoa gwe ngabo yange munange ya zaabu olisigala Katonda omusana nga gugenze all about God. Ulira Mukama ali nawe bera munywevu eryato weriyuga tovamu newankubadde bikulumba byebingi totyenga oyo Yesu waba nawe oyo no Katonda omusana mukwano gwa mwoyo omulungi labayo ono ngabo ya mwemwe munange alisigala Katonda omusana nga gugenze olisigala Katonda omusana nga gugenze ng'okaba amaziga mangi sigala wongo sinza Katonda wo nga gugenze mu bulumi obungi sigala wongo sinza Katonda wo omusana nga gugenze intervene for you. nosaba atera ng'osuubira yongera osabe kuba Yesu tatudde ku lunaku luli omusana gulyaka bwe liba nkuba munangerita ng'owangudde ng'ofunye essanyu era eno y'ensaale yange gy'oli. May you be remembered like Noah, favored like Moses, honored like Mary. May you be promoted like Joseph, healed like Naaman, anointed like David. May he answer you like Elijah, protect you like Daniel, intervene for you like he did it for Esther. Thank you, Jesus. We thank you, Holy One. We thank you, Lord. We thank you, Jesus. What he did for Esther, he can do it for you. See, he honored Mary, he will honor you. Your promotion's coming if you do believe. There's anointing in abundance, just like David. Oh, he healed Naaman. Get your healing today. Today. May you be remembered like Noah, favored like Moses, honored like Mary. May you be promoted like Joseph, healed like Naaman, anointed like David. May he answer you like Elijah, protect you like Daniel, intervene for you like he did it. He did it for Esther.
And that is Sharon for you on Good Morning Uganda. Thank you so much for watching this show. I believe, I know in some shape or form, you've been impacted by the beautiful lyrical content that she carries in her music. Hello, Julie and Sharona. It's Isaac Wanzala Aizo in West Nile. Sharona, do you know a female gospel artist from Bale called Susan? And do you mind to make some collaborations with some of the gospel artists from Masabaland? That is a question from a viewer. Are you open to collaborations?
I think very open.
But
I think I've just not reached there yet to actually maybe meet these people and get to know them. But if there is an opportunity, why not?
Yes, indeed. I totally hear you on that. So, in Susan Watsese is the name of the artist that he talks about. So, perhaps, Isaac, if you could maybe share her social media handle so that Sharona is able to engage and see, as the Lord leads, what could come out of such collaboration. Thank you so much for watching the show. I'm Jojo from Gulu City. She has nice music. Thank you, Jojo.
Thank
for
you.
being on the show. As a Christian, what do you usually do with praise? Because sometimes, being human, it's easy for praise to go overboard. How do you always keep at bay?
Like praise from people?
Yeah, people praise. And appreciation.
I think that is something that has never even got to me. I don't even mind it.
Right.
But, okay, if it ever comes and there is a lot of it, of course you enjoy it, but it has to have a limit. It doesn't have to go overboard to what the Lord sent you to do, or the message He gave you to carry. It doesn't have to outshine it. Right.
I think, yeah.
I do agree with you on that. As we begin to close, in your opinion, in today's society, what role do you think gospel music plays?
I think like you're in the dark. And you see that small light that actually guides you. Okay, have you ever been in a situation at home where electricity has gone off and you know that, you know what, if I reach here, this is now the fridge, then I have to go here, you know, those guidelines. I think gospel music is like a guideline. Because
in the dark world.
Yes, even me, much as I'm a gospel artist, there are some songs that actually shape me, shape my day-to-day, my living. So I think it's a lamp for us to sing.
How do we connect with your music? Where do we find your music? And in case anyone wants to work with you, how do they get in touch?
Okay, my music is on all my social media platforms. Sharona Music on YouTube, Sharona Music on all other social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm there as Sharona Music. Then for those ones that actually want to work with me, there is a number to call. Is it okay to read it out?
Okay.
It is 0702 65 9957. You can just send me a WhatsApp message or call me and we shall work on something.
All right.
Yeah.
What would be your final message to anyone watching you right now?
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for keeping it UBC. Thank you for watching us, and thank you for supporting Sharona Music. Those who do, those who subscribe to my YouTube, thank you so much. Continue subscribing. I have a new song there. Please go there and comment on it. But the message I have for people out there is do not give up. Do not give up. I won't say that very many people are going through what you're going through because this is a self journey, but I want you to hold on to the cloak of God and allow Him to take the lead in everything. The moment you give Him that, you give Him everything about you, He will, trust me, He will guide you through it all. But if you do it on your own understanding, toja kusobola, we've fallen very many times. But we only get back because we know who we serve. We know we have God within us. So do not give up. Keep moving. You are going to make it.
Very profound at that. Allow me close it with a comment that comes in from Charles, who's watching us from Boyogerere. He says, she's just so good. I like her music. I like her vocals are on point. Thank you so much, Sharona, for giving us your time, blessing us with your talent this morning. It's been such a pleasure, and may God continue blessing you and lifting you. And thank you for watching. We have another artist, so just keep it locked, and we'll be right back in just a bit. Good morning.
Atera ngosubira